to all of you.
Now we can hear you. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
So I think it is we should be assured that we can audible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. I think it's a great pleasure to welcome you. So we'll start our proceeding. I'm sorry for the delay.
So a very good morning and a warm welcome to the annual convocation ceremony of Aegis School of Data Science and Cybersecurity. I'm Anita Ram and I'll be coordinating with today's proceeding for the convocation ceremony. So before starting, I would like to highlight few points. All the graduating students are requested to enter the Zoom meeting with their complete name. If you have already entered, kindly rename yourself with your complete name. Kindly keep your audio mute throughout the ceremony. All the graduating students, a special note for you all, you will only put your videos on when we will instruct you to put it on. Okay. So to start with, on behalf of Aegis School of Data Science and Cybersecurity, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Mr. William H. Immon, famously recognized by the world as Bill Immon, father of Data Warehouse, founder, chairman, and CEO, Forest Rim Technology LLC. Sir, we are honored to have you as the chief guest and welcome you to the convocation ceremony.
Thank you so much.
Now, I would like to welcome the Dean of Aegis School of Data Science and Cybersecurity, Dr. Abhijit Gangopadhyay. We welcome you, sir. Would welcome the Director of Aegis School of Data Science and Cybersecurity, Dr. Vinay Kulkarni. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
And lastly, would like to welcome the Managing Trustee of Aegis Knowledge Trust, Mr. Bhupesh Deharia. We welcome you, sir. I would now like to welcome the academics team and the industry experts associated with us. To start with, Professor Umesh Aundkar, Professor Vipin Dubey, Professor Ankita Pai, Professor Vishi Nima, Professor Parvati Nair, Professor Nida Parkar, Professor Sayan Sen, Professor Sai Kiran, Professor Mureshwar Daigude, Professor Joginder Nanda, Professor Bhavik Gandhi, Professor Amar Nayak, Professor Binita Sajid, Professor Sudha, Professor Milind Shah, Professor Neeraj Kumar, Professor Cyrus Lenton, Professor Shopan Selve, Professor Jay Borade, and Professor Amir Syed at today's event. And lastly, I would like to welcome all the graduating students and their family members to the convocation ceremony. We will now play the Saraswati Vandana. We request everyone to please stand up for the same. IT team. Thank you, everyone. At today's convocation ceremony, we would be awarding the certificates to the graduates from the postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, and big data in association with IBM. We have 70 students graduating today from full-time and executive batches respectively. I would now request the Dean, Dr. Abhijit Gangopadhyay, to open the convocation ceremony.
Very good morning to all of you, and my dear students, and then our chief guest, Mr. Dr. Kulkarni and Mr. Bhupesh Dwivedi. So I think it's a great occasion on this one, but I prefer real, not the virtual. Anyway, since nothing can be done, so we start our convocation. By virtue of the authority bestowed on me, I declare the convocation open.
Thank you, sir. Now I would start with the convocation proceeding by calling out the students' name group-wise. So the first group today, we have the students graduating from the executive batch. So the first batch is postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, big data in association with IBM. And the first candidate, the first graduate for today is Aashish Nikhil. The second graduate from the same group is Amol Palande. The next graduate from the same batch is Karan Samani. The next graduate is Kedar Kasarpatil. The next graduate is Kelvin Olukoju. Next graduate, Manoj Kumar Tuteja. Next graduate from the same group is Parikshit Advani. The next graduate from the same group is Reena Patil. The next graduate from the same group is Ruby Yadav. Next graduate from the same group is Shubham Rastogi. And the last graduate from the same group is Shweta Pandey. I would now request all the participants, all the graduates from group 1 to kindly put on their videos for the group picture. Everyone kindly put on your videos. Kedar, your video is not on. Kedar, your video is still not on.
Just give me a minute.
IT team, if you can have the group picture and can I have the confirmation?
Done, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. You can put off your videos.
Okay. Congratulations, everyone.
We'll start with the second group. So the first graduate from the second group is Aarti More. The next graduate is Akshay Nalawade. The next graduate is Alwasi Khan. The next graduate is Ambika Saini. The next graduate is Anup Bose. The next graduate from the batch is Ashish Ingale. The next graduating student is Bablu Prajapat. The next graduating student from group 2 is Chinmay Bhat. Next graduating student from the group is Deepa Ghag. And the next graduate from the group is Deepika Nishad. I would now request all the participants to put on their videos. Just put on your videos, don't put your audio on. Ashish, your video is off. Ashish, if you can put on your video. IT team, please confirm if the group video is a group picture is done.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. We'll move on with the next group. This is the full-time postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, and big data in association with IBM. So we'll start with the third group. The first participant is Dharmil Sangani. The second graduate from the same group is Gayatri Patil. The third graduating student from the same group is Harshad Punghera. The next graduating student from the group is Keshri Lalna. The next graduate is Krina Parmar. The next graduate is Mohnish Lavania. The next graduate is Parsis Presswala. The next graduate from the group is Prachi Tripathi. The next graduate from the group is Priyank Jha. And the last graduate from the same group is Priyanka Biswas. I would now request all the participants to put on their videos. IT team, please confirm if the group picture is done. Mohnish, your video, okay.
Done, ma'am.
Thank you. So we start with the next batch. It's the full-time, the participants are from the full-time postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, and big data in association with IBM batch. The first graduating student from the same batch is Ram Varudkar. The next graduating student is Rishik Sharma. The next graduating student from the group is Sajal Vasil. The next graduating student from the batch is Sakshi Jain. The next graduating student is Sandipta Subir Khare. The next graduating student is Sanket Takle. The next graduating student is Sarang Bagul. The next graduating student from the batch is Shakti Singh Rathod. The next graduating student from the group is Sinakshi Sankhayan. The next graduating student is Shriya Patravali. The next graduating student from the same group is Shweta Pandey. I would now request all the graduate students from the batch to put on their videos. IT, please confirm if it is done.
Done, ma'am.
Thank you. We'll start with the next batch. Again, the graduating students are from the full-time postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, and big data in association with IBM batch. So the first graduate student from this batch is Sneha Ganesh. The next graduate student from the group is Trapti Khandelwal. The next graduate is Umesh Krishna, Unni Krishna. The next graduate is Vikas Dutta. The next graduate is Viraj Majalkar. The next graduate from the group is Ankur Anand. The next graduate from the group is H. Hemant. The next graduate from the group is N.S. Pramod Krishna. The next graduate from the group is Praveen Kumar. And the last graduate from the same group is Praveen Kumar Tikonda. I would now request all the participants to please put on their videos. IT team, please confirm if the group picture is done.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move ahead with the next batch with the graduating participants from the full-time postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, and big data in association with IBM batch. So the first candidate from this batch, first graduating student, is Shanawaz Kumbari. The next graduating student is Debashish Das. The next graduate student from the same group is Deepa Ghag. The next graduating student from the same group is Gurdeep Singh Chandok. The next graduating student from the same group is Krishna Dalal. The next graduating student from the same group is Pratik Khanna. And the last graduate from the same group is Vikesh Mewada. All the graduates, kindly put on your video for the group picture. Is the group picture done?
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now we have the last few students who will be graduating. This is a combination from full-time and the executive batch. So the first graduating student from the group is Mradul Dhakad. The next graduating student from the same group is Tushar Deep Singh Sethi. The next graduate is Abhijit Khodade. The next graduate from the same group is Aditi Jaiswal. And the last graduate for today is Amit Yadav. All the graduating participants from the group, kindly put on your videos. Is it done? The group picture? IT team, if you can confirm.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now I would like to announce the names of candidates who could not participate today for the convocation ceremony. Atul Chaudhary, Nikhil Gaikwad, Saurabh Gazbije, Sonia Lashkar, and Shabbir Gavarnar.
I think all these candidates, those who could not attend, they have been awarded in absentia. Okay.
Now I would request Mr. Bilimon to deliver the convocation speech.
Surely. Thank you so much. It's a real honor and pleasure to be with you tonight. I'm speaking with you from Denver, Colorado, United States of America. If you've ever been to America, Denver is in the center of the country, near the mountains. First off, I want to give my sincere congratulations to you. You have accomplished something in your life. You've made an investment in yourself, and that investment is going to be with you the rest of your life. Nobody can ever take that investment away from you. You're at a point where you're going to be making choices. We make choices all our life, but upon graduation, we have a whole new set of choices in front of you. And the choices that you make today are going to set the stage for you and the rest of your life. And not just for you, but for your family as well. So I want to talk with you about one of those choices. One of those choices is the career that you have in front of you. And I want to congratulate you for having chosen technology, either in part or in whole, as part of your career. And why is technology a good choice? Well, it's a good choice because number one, it's interesting. And number two, you have skills that are always going to be in demand. So in the future, you're always going to be able to put bread on your table and a roof over your head for both yourself and your family. Now, let's talk a little bit about your skills. You're graduating today and you've spent an effort to go through learning, but I have news for you. Your learning is not over, it's just beginning, because in terms of your learning activity, you're going to be learning all your life. I'm an older person, and I learn every day of my life. Sometimes what I learn is not terribly interesting. Some days things that I learn is very interesting, but learning is an ongoing activity. And just because you graduated from your university does not mean that your learning is over. Learning is a constant activity. Let me tell you this another way. When you are finished learning, you are finished. You stagnate, and stagnation is not anything that's pleasant. So I encourage you to continue your learning all your life. Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. And by the way, learning is something that is both professional and personal. If you have ever had children, or someday when you have children, you'll find out how much you don't know, because children teach you a whole new set of things that are just waiting for you. So your learning activity is not just something that's professional, it's something that's personal as well. Now, I want to talk about another aspect of your career, and that is taking chances. I, all my life, have been a chance taker. That's how I live my life. But not everybody is a chance taker. Some people like to have a nice, predictable life. And there's nothing wrong with having a nice, predictable life. On the other hand, there are people like myself that like to take chances. And let me tell you what it's like to be a chance taker. Being a chance taker is like being on a roller coaster ride. 1 minute, the sky is the limit and you're going to succeed wildly. And the next minute, you're going downhill and you're going into the swamp. And whatever happens to you, it's never quite as good or as bad as you have imagined. But being a chance taker means that you are on a roller coaster and you need to have a stomach for it. And again, not everybody is a chance taker, but I can speak from taking chances because that's who I am and what I do. Now let's talk about another aspect of taking chances. One of the things about taking chances is failure. And if you're a chance taker, it's inevitable that you will fail. Now, nobody likes to fail, and it's certainly not pleasant to fail. But let me tell you something. There is a very valuable thing that happens when you fail. You now have a learning experience. Nothing teaches you better than failure. And if you learn from your failures, you will find that you become a mature person. That's where maturity and wisdom come from, is from learning from your failures. So if you're a risk taker and a chance taker, then you are going to find out that you are going to fail, and there's no shame, there's no sin in failure. But there's the sin and the shame is when you don't learn from the failure. Now, speaking of failure, another thing that you should think about as a risk taker is you should always consider, before you take the risk, the calculation of what happens if and when you fail. That is to say, if you're going to jump out of an airplane, you better have a parachute that sitting there hoping that your flight through the air is going to be wondrous and exciting. That's all well and good, but at the end of your fall out of the airplane, you're eventually going to hit Earth. And if you don't have a parachute, you're going to end up having a very bad experience. Now, speaking of having a parachute, one of the things that I more than recommend, I can tell you about, is we have something in America we call Plan B. What Plan B is an alternative means of supporting yourself should your primary activity not succeed. And so in my life, I've had Plan B and Plan C and Plan D, that if you're going to be a risk taker, you better be prepared to have an alternative to being able to survive should your plan not work out. Now, let me tell you something about a plan B. Oftentimes it turns out that your plan B turns into your plan A. Let me tell you a personal experience. When I was going through college, I did not like to write. I really did not like to write. I avoided courses. I took courses in math. I took courses in programming. I did anything I could do to avoid writing. And then when I got out into the working world, one day, almost by accident, I discovered that I actually liked writing. And so to this date, I've written 62 books, some of which have been well received by the public. And today I am a writer. So that's a case where my plan B turned into my plan A. But when you get ready to take risks and take chances, make sure you have a calculation of what you are going to do if the plan you're on isn't going to work out. Otherwise, you and your family are in danger of having a bad experience. Now, let me talk about another aspect of being a chance taker. Being a chance taker has rewards, and there's different kind of rewards. My own personal rewards from taking chances are, it's been my privilege in life to be the first person to see things. The first thing I ever did that I saw and was the first person was something called data warehousing. And indeed, a long time ago, I sat there and wondered in awe of what something called data warehousing could do for the world. Now, today, data warehousing is a standard part of every corporation that's out there, but it wasn't that way in the beginning. In the beginning, there was nothing. And so it was my privilege to be able to see the power of data warehousing. More recently, I've had a second experience in terms of being rewarded with being the first person to see something. I've been able to look at text and look at how text can be turned into a database. Now, you probably have never thought about this, but there is a tremendous amount of potential of good things that happen to the world when you can turn text into a database. And it's been my privilege to be the first person to see how all of that works. By the way, I was talking with Dr. Kulkarni right before this presentation, and he asked me how long I had been doing the work on text. And it's kind of embarrassing. It's taken me 22 years to get to the point of understanding text the way that we do today. But today we can take text and turn text directly into a database on which a person can do analysis. And currently, we do things with medical records, setting the stage for medical research, which is very rewarding. So when I talk about rewards, the rewards of taking chances and risks is, in my case, the reward of being the first person to be able to see how all of these things happen. But let me talk about another aspect of taking chances. Another aspect of taking chances is, if you succeed, there oftentimes is a fair amount of financial gain. Now, there's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with financial gain. But let me tell you something. If you think you're going to become a wealthy, rich person, you're not ever going to do that making a salary. No company is going to pay you so much money that you're going to get rich. You'll have enough money to pay your bills, enough money to put food on your table, a roof over your head, and take care of your family, and do that well, but you're not going to get rich. On the other hand, if you are an entrepreneur, that's how you get rich. But let me talk to you about the fallacy of getting rich. If all of your goal is to get rich and make money, then I want you to think a little bit about Bill Gates and Elon Musk, two of the wealthiest people on the earth today. The problem with making money as a goal is there's never enough. I don't care if you want to make money and that's all you want to do, then there's no end to it. There's never an end to how much money you want or you can make. So I personally don't think that making money should be one of your goals, although you certainly can do that. That's your choice and your choice to make. But making money is not a very soul satisfying thing. The other rewards, the ability to improve the world and offer the world something that it hasn't had before, is something that is much more satisfying than making a lot of money. So I want to close by, again, congratulating all of you. And I want to tell you, I'll be looking for great things from each one of you. Thank you for having me speak tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I would request Dr. Abhijit Gangopadhyay to close the convocation ceremony.
I think it was a pleasure listening to you, Bill, and I think, and I'm grateful to all the recipient of the degrees and diplomas in this convocation. Especially, I'm thankful to the students, and like you, I would like to wish them a very successful career. By dint of the authority vested on me, I declare this convocation, signed I think, and then and thanks to all of you. I think we'll now wait for the national anthem to be played and request all of you to stand up. Thank you.
IT team, if we can have the national anthem.
Janagana mana adhinayak jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for joining for the convocation ceremony.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So is the formal part over? Can we chat now, Anita?
Sure, sir.
Okay. Bill, personally, lots of thanks. I think your address, was great. Thanks for sharing with us your part of your life's journey. I think it was very inspiring to know how you have gone about your life. And I think those pieces of advice will surely be not only useful to the students, but I think all of us.
All of us.
Yeah. And particularly, your bit about don't go after money alone. There are other interesting things in life to do. I think that was a very valuable input that was given to all these students. Thank you so much. It was really inspiring to hear you speak.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Really, it's a pleasure to listen to you, and I think it's an inspiration for us, even at this age of mine, I feel. So students should feel like writing. I think that is what we promote in AGC. Thanks for.
Thank you.
Bill. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the graduating students. Congratulations to all of you.
Yeah. Yes, student